And now let's talk about Donald Trump because he just made some waves by breaking with Ron DeSantis and other Republicans and throwing his support behind a marijuana legalization measure in Florida. Let's go to local outlet News4Jax for more.
Former President Donald Trump says he supports Florida's Amendment 3 to legalize recreational marijuana. Mr. Trump wrote a post on the platform Truth Social this morning, stating in part, whether people like it or not, this will happen through the approval of the voters, so it should be done correctly. But he also said it is important to create laws that prohibit its use in public spaces so that we don't smell marijuana, he says, everywhere we go. Mr. Trump will vote as a Floridian this November, meaning he will get a say in the Amendment 3 as well. Mr. Trump's opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, became the first major party presidential nominee to advocate for marijuana legalization.
So what exactly does Amendment 3 say? Here's a portion of the ballot summary. It allows adults 21 years or older to possess, purchase, or use marijuana products and marijuana accessories for non-medical personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, or otherwise. That means anyone over the age of 21 would be allowed to buy and use marijuana recreationally as long as they don't exceed possession limits. A vote yes would mean you agree people over the age of 21 should be allowed to use marijuana recreationally. A vote no means you don't agree. The amendment needs 60% of the voters to say yes to pass. If it passes, Florida would become the 25th state to legalize recreational marijuana. 8 years ago, Florida voters approved the use of medicinal marijuana, with 71% of voters saying yes.
So this is controversial because other Republicans like Ron DeSantis are going against this ballot initiative and do not support marijuana legalization in Florida. But for me, it's a pretty simple call. And I think Trump, not DeSantis or these other Republicans who want to continue the war on pot, I think Trump is in the right here. You don't have to like marijuana. You don't have to smoke marijuana. You can advocate against people doing it. But if you believe in a free society, that's got to extend to adults' rights to engage in pastimes that you maybe don't agree with, or to ingest things in their body that you wouldn't personally ingest in yours. Now, I do think there are some problems with marijuana legalization that haven't gone well in some of the states that have done it. One, for example, is something Trump hints at. I think I would agree with the idea of restricting the use of marijuana in public. Smoke at home, smoke in designated marijuana places, but we shouldn't want that out on the streets in front of everybody, and we shouldn't want to have to smell it everywhere, kind of like with alcohol. I mean, I've always said for a long time, I think marijuana should just be treated similarly to alcohol, which is causes way more deaths and way more harm, but is totally legal, while marijuana for a long time has been illegal. It's never made any sense to me. But you can't just drink in the public and sit in the middle of the street and get super drunk and vomit all over everybody. You have to be in a bar or at home or somewhere else where it's allowed to do that. And I think having similar restrictions when you're going through the legal marijuana process can help and help you avoid some of the scenarios like you have in New York City, where just the stench of pot, which is not my favorite smell, I will say, becomes ever present and that kind of thing. The other thing you have to do is you have to keep taxes low and the regulations low so these businesses can get going. Otherwise, you end up like California, which has a legal option, but still has a huge black market and criminal enterprise because the taxes are so high, the regulations are so stringent, they made it so hard to actually start a marijuana business that you end up still having a black market, which defeats the whole point. Because one of the main arguments for marijuana legalization, just as a pragmatic thing, even if you don't personally like or support marijuana, is that having it done, it will happen one way or the other, and having it done in a black market is dangerous and unhealthy and unsafe. For example, people might accidentally smoke marijuana that's laced with fentanyl that they buy from some dealer who maybe doesn't even know himself what's in it. That doesn't happen when you actually go to regulated, above board, legal stores, or at least it happens exponentially more infrequently. That's a good thing from a public health perspective. And again, for me, the issue just comes down to individual liberty and freedom. I think Trump's making the right call here, and that he should also take a similar approach to the federal level if he does become president again. Totally get the laws off the books, banning it federally, and let states decide. Because right now we have this bizarre patchwork where even in states where it's legal, it's technically still illegal federally, even though it's not enforced. So it causes all sorts of complications for businesses and the banking sector and all that. We've really got to sort that out. That's just a hot mess of a way to be doing this. So I'm glad Trump is coming around on this issue. He has opposed legalization in the past, I think. And it is ironic to me that Ron DeSantis, who calls himself the freedom governor and really has painted himself as a pro-liberty kind of guy, does not think that your basic liberty extends to the consumption of a plant he doesn't like. Make it make sense? You just can't. You guys let me know who you agree with in the comments below, and do hit that like button while you're at it.